guys, it's Emma and welcome back to my channel. I don't even want to talk about how long it has been since my last video. We're just gonna skate right by that. But it's an exciting day because today we are here to film my favorite video to film, or maybe not my favorite video to film, but my favorite video to look back on, and that is my 2022 bookshelf tour. I love having these on film and just being able to look back at what my bookshelves look like each year. I've been doing this, I think I have one for 2018, 2019, 2020, or at least 2019 and 2020. I'm not 100% sure. And I also have like vlogs like building some shelves. This one is a new one and I have one other new shelf. So we're building. I am surrounded by books. There's no good way to show you all of them at once because they're literally on every single wall of my room. And they're taking over, but it's fine. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to say, so I will explain where things are from and everything like that as we go around, but I'm going to flip the camera around and show you a brief layout of how these all stack up in my room, I think. Alright, so as soon as you walk into my room, there's sort of furniture everywhere. Small room, guys, okay? So on my left, you have the TBR cart, my first primary bookshelf, my bed, which above has this new bookshelf that my boyfriend's dad built me. I will go into more of that later. As we turn over here, we have school books, more books, nothing really on this wall. Then this brand new bookshelf I bought, my dresser, the TV was there, might as well put a fireplace on it, sure thing. So let us start with the cart. So firstly, on this top shelf is where I keep my library books. So right now work has been super crazy, and I've been working a lot of long hours, so I've been sticking with some graphic novels. So right now I have March book 1 out from the library, as well as Medusa by Jessie Burton. Haven't read them yet, but super excited to. Then we have some other books that either I've got recently, I've had, or on the opposite, I've had on my shelf for a while and I just felt like if I put them over here, maybe I'd remember to read them. So we have, you know, Fate of the Fallen, which is a new one, Let It To Me, Defy the Night, which is a newer one to me, and then these two are older. Last I'm Sorry, I've had since like 2018 and I've never read, so I'm putting it here, hopefully I would read it. One I'm super excited about, A Marvelous Light by Freya Marsk. And my latest purchase, The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin, which has the first edition hardcover, which I'm super happy with. And then we have The Song of Achilles, which I got for Christmas and I'm excited about. Got my bookmarks, my favorite one from Brit's shop, basically Brit. There's the information. Love those, but that's just where all those go, as well as my open sticky tabs. Then we have some magnets I made of my friends and I, my family, my boyfriend, and this is all my mass markets that are not romance. And then this random book that my aunt gave me that I'm thinking about unhauling, so I put it over here so I can think about it. Then, oh man, the bottom shelf of this has no organization really. It's like journals and DVDs and random stuff, but also these are hardcover books of not the first book in the series, and some of them I don't even have the books of, but some of them I do. So these are books where I'm not up to them yet, and I don't really have didn't want to put them on the shelf and have like randomly book 1 and 5. So, you know, that's there. Now backing up to give a better view of this shelf. This was the first like full-size bookshelf I ever got. This is the $30 bookshelf from Walmart. I will say it's held up pretty well. There's some mistakes that I definitely made building it where I like screwed through a panel I wasn't supposed to or something. So that's more on me and user error than anything else. But here it is. Just picture my boyfriend and I and some candles on the top. Not really super interesting. But moving in closer here, we have all of my Sarah J. Maas books. I have only read the ACOTAR series. just got Crescent City for Christmas and I'm super excited to read it. Throw in a glass. Been on the TBR for 2018, but I got this copy a couple months ago. Nervous, but I'm still gonna give it a try. And then we have Lee Bardugo here. I have read the Grisha trilogy and the Six of Crows duology. So I am next going to read the King of Scars duology and Language of Thorns, which I'm super excited about. I got that on my birthday book shopping road trip. If you haven't seen that vlog, I will link it in the cards above. Next, we have my Brandon Sanderson. So I've read the whole Mistborn, first era Mistborn trilogy. Loved it. Mistborn is probably one of my favorite books of all time. So yes. Excited to read The Alloy of Law. Nervous but excited. Hate that the only edition you can get in the US is this mass market, but here we are. Then we have my extensive V.E. Schwab collection, especially considering I've only read these two. Yeah. Out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books I have here, I've only read 2, plus some of the issues in Extraordinary. And I will say, in defense of me having 2 special editions, of The Invisible Life of Ade LaRue, I will say I did not buy these. I put this on my wish list, and my aunt got me one, and my stepmom got me one, so that's how we ended up with 2 of those. And then I did pre-order Gallant, so. You good? Okay. And then we have Realmbreaker, which I have not read, The Name of the Wind, which I haven't read, excited to, but scared to. Oh, I should mention, this is a candle that smells horrible, but it's cute. My mom got it for me. A little Squishmallow here, and then here we have Malcolm, my little Squishmallow here. And then behind here we go into adult fantasy. I haven't read The Eye of the World, but I did get the 30th anniversary edition just because it was mainly the one on Amazon, so that's what I got. The Lost Apothecary, because of Cass from Covers of Cassidy. I got Matless. I haven't read that yet, though. Actually, haven't read any of these. I have read Serpent and Dove, which is more like new adult fantasy romance. Excited to read Blood and Honey, even though I've heard very mixed things. Let's see, here in this next stack, I have only read The Night Circus, which I really enjoyed, but I've been really wanting to read The Witcher. It just scares me that it's, the first one is a book of short stories. Does scare me a little bit, not gonna lie. We've got the first 2 books in the Discovery of Witches series, which I'm nervously excited about. And then some other YA over here. The one I'm most excited about for these is Small Favors by Aaron A. Craig, which I've heard is like a YA, like elf fantasy romance sort of thing. Going down to the next shelf here. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have my ring light out, and I don't have, I'm like on my knees right now on the ground, so I apologize if the angles change or if I'm having a hard time focusing, so I apologize. We have Poison Study, Magic Study. I've read and enjoyed. They were like 3.5 stars. I am so annoyed that the 3rd book, Fire Study, is not available in is only available in paperback. It is nowhere in hardcover, and I don't want it in paperback. We have The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. I tried to read this, and I don't know if I hard DNF'd it or soft DNF'd it. We're gonna ponder about it still. Cruel Prince, Wicked King. I have read all 3. I just found these 2 thrifting, so that's why I only have the first 2. Tempest and Slaughter by Tamar Pierce. I haven't read. I've heard amazing things though, so I'm excited about that. Another one I've had since like 2018. We have Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I want to read this. I don't know why I haven't. I don't know what's going on. We have Vespertine, which I just read by Margaret Rogerson. Really enjoyed. Helped me get out of a reading slump. Haven't read that. Haven't read Give the Dark My Love, but intrigued to do so. And then I have loved the Daughter of the Pirate King duology. I only have the first book. I do not have the second on my person. And I have The Diviners and Lair of Dreams by Libba Bray. Really hate that the only matching set is really expensive from Fairy Loot, so I do not have a matching set, and I hate that the paperbacks are different sizes. Like, why couldn't we at least make them one size, okay? Have read The Diviners, soft DNF'd Lair of Dreams in like 2019 because I got scared, okay? And then trying to get a good angle of this last shelf is very hard, but on this last shelf we have the Switch dock. We don't need to see that, but this is basically all childhood, middle grade books. So yes, we have them, which I'm not going to dwell on. Those were all gifts. So we have some Fablehaven, which is an underrated middle grade classic in my opinion. We have randomly books 3 and 4 from Percy Jackson. I don't know why there's not 1 and 2. Nevermore, which is a recent read, but a couple years ago, but I was sadly did not love it as much as everyone else. Inkheart, one of my favorites. Can't wait to revisit that, so I bought a copy when I was thrifting one day. Peter and the Starcatcher is great. Old Magic, one of my favorites. I'm scared to reread though, because I feel like it's gonna be horrible. And then we have Twilight, New Moon. I got those thrifting for like 50 cents. Looking for a whole set, but I'm not gonna spend money on it like crazy. Again, Insurgent and Allegiant, but no Divergent. How I came with these things, I do not know. Tunnels, underrated but great. This book is signed to me. I believe I've read it, but it was signed to me, so I don't want to get rid of it. And then we have The Secret Circle, which I don't know if I ever read. And then there's something else hidden under there that I don't remember and don't really care, frankly. By the way, in case anyone is wondering, these are little fairy lights that I have that I got from my work. They were on clearance for like, I think it was $1.50. One of them I got for like $1 because it was clearanced even more later. And that is my adult fantasy and YA fantasy shelf, except for my YA fantasy paperbacks, which you'll see in another spot. Okay, and next, over my bed, we have my bookshelf that my boyfriend's dad made me. I was so grateful that he built this thing for me, and I was like, okay, how many books can I put in it? He said, I'm anchoring it into your, you know, the beams of your house. You can put as many as you want. And I said, that's a great answer. Thank you, sir. So we have on the top here, oh, let me get onto the bed so I can get a better angle. Okay. So if I bounce, I'm literally standing on my bed. So just so you know. So on the top here, we have all of my classics. So some of these, like these ones are vintage. We've got childhood ones. I've got this beautiful book of Nordic Tales, this illustrated classic mythology. If you didn't know, I was an anthropology major, so this stuff is super interesting to me. And more miscellaneous classics. I don't know if there's anything really of note on this shelf. I've read probably half of these. Newest edition is this copy of A Little Woman by Louisa May Alcott that my mother got me for Easter. So that one is new, and I think I'm gonna collect all these editions. They're only like $12.99 on Amazon. I'll link it below if I remember. And then, oh gosh, how do I get a good angle of this? Alright, and then we have my rainbow shelves, and these are all YA contemporary, adult romance, some adult contemporary, and yes, I added my mass markets to sort of bulk out the rainbow so I could have it more divisive. And then I've got some little friends, as you can tell, a theme. So over here, one that I'm excited about, 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. I can't get it out of there. I'm sorry. This shelf is so packed. As well as I'm really excited about With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo, because I loved The Poet X, which is actually over here. And then we have a lot of historical romance, as well as some Nicholas Sparks in the mass markets. One of my favorite books ever, Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is actually an ARC that I got from my library, which I was super happy with. Another favorite, we have Prince Charming by Rachel Hawkins. I don't know why I love this book so much. It's so funny. Like, the humor of the main character was just really funny to me, and the end is literally like a John Cusack movie, and I loved it. Then we have some Morgan Matson. We got Second Chance Summer. If you want to cry, read that, sure. A.S. King, I haven't read. I'm intrigued, but nervous too. Anything else of note over here? What I'm thinking of unhauling is In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. I don't know what's going on. I haven't meshed with their more recent stuff, so I'm kind of conflicted about that. I'm super excited to read People We Meet on Vacation because I really liked Beach Read I Cried again. One that I'm intrigued by because it's like reminds me of Daisy Jones and the Six, merely because it's like a historical sort of contemporary, and that's Summer of '69 by Ellen Hildebrand, which is also, I believe, set in New England, which I really like because I live in New England. And then we have some more Nicholas Sparks books here. I've read probably half of the Nicholas Sparks books I own. I hold on to them because they're like a guilty pleasure. They're, you know, there's a good Nicholas Sparks movie for a reason, you know? And then down here we have classic Love Hypothesis, which I really enjoyed. Also, being a biology major in college, I really appreciated that. Made me really want to go back to grad school a lot, or go to grad school, not go back. One I'm excited about again, It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. Have heard nothing but good things about this book, so I'm hoping for great things. Aristotle and Dante I've read recently and really enjoyed. I must say I've read none of these. I loved A Million Junes by Emily Henry, and The Love That Split the World was really good. Really excited to read When the Sky Fell in Splendor because I've just loved all of her speculative YA that she's done, as well as the one adult book that I've read from Emily Henry, so super excited about that. I've heard great things about How to Fail at Flirting. Sorry, this angle is changing. Again, I am on the bed, so I apologize. Again, haven't read Dark Lover. Intrigued to. I want to really see what the hype is about. I started collecting the mass markets as I found them at the bookstore for like $1, literally, so at Goodwill. I've read the X-Hex. It was good. I'm super excited to read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I'm just nervous that it's going to be so hyped up from everyone that I'm not going to enjoy it. So, freaking loved The Poet X. It made me feel all sorts of emotions, and highly recommend the audiobook. It's like 4 hours long and it's beautiful. Then we have two of my favorite romance series here. We have the Simple Wild series. The exclusion being the last one. I have very conflicting feelings about the last one, but the first three, beautiful. Bromance Book Club, again, how much I loved it wanes here at the end, but the first book and the second book are solid. And then we'll move over to my sci-fi and adult shelf over here as I get off the bed. So again, I'm not gonna really talk about this, but this is like books that I read for school and like nonfiction and stuff. So that's what's down there. On this top shelf here, we have miscellaneous adults books. So we've got a random nonfiction. We've got my Kathy Reichs books because my dream job is to be a forensic anthropologist. Will we get there? Who knows? We've got Angels and Demons in the Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. I really want to read those. I'm scared of them. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Noel. Scared by the size of it, but historical fantasy just sounds so good to me right now. Yeah, when I need to read The Shadow of the Wind, I've heard nothing but good things. But yeah, I've read a total of 1 book on this shelf, so not great. Then, oh my gosh, my room is so tight, I'm sorry. There's not a good way to show all these. But then we have the next 2 shelves are my sci-fi shelves. So I will move in here so we can get a better look. Over here, I've read Dear Mighty Things, really enjoyed that. Give it about 4 stars. Didn't really like the ending twist, which makes me nervous about One Giant Leap. Haven't read anything else over here yet. And then we have my Skyward series. I've read the first 2. I'm currently reading the Skyward Flight bind up. I'm on Read Dawn, and then I can go to Cytonic before coming back to this and reading Evershore. Another new edition, we have Red Rising by Pierce Brown, which I'm excited about. I've heard mixed things, but I'm excited to see what I will think of. Then we also have Grogu and Mando, of course, guarding the sci-fi shelf. The Martian by Andy Weir was one of my favorite books of last year, so it needed a place over here. Haven't read those. And then I loved Sleeping Giants. Waking Gods wasn't as good, but I'm still excited but nervous to read Only Human because I've heard not great things, but I still need to buy it, so yeah. Speaking of Andy Weir, we have Project Hail Mary, which I am so excited about because this made it on so many people's favorites lists of last year. Just haven't gotten around to it again. I get nervous when there's a lot of hype. I get nervous. Fred Illuminae, Amcidio, again, problematic authors. I didn't pay for these, okay? We have Dune, which do I say I'm currently reading? I was reading it. Then I got COVID in February and my brain just stopped working. So I've been kind of nervous to pick it back up just because Frank Herbert like just drops you in there and you just gotta like read it and just hope that you understand because it's a lot. Another one I'm excited about, To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. I have seen mixed reviews about this, but I'm excited about it nonetheless. Then we have the Bone Season series by Samantha Shannon. I did start reading My Mortar a while ago. You can see where I got to, but put it down for whatever reason at the time. But I do want to get back to this, so I do have the next couple as well. And then we've got Grogu here again, and that is the sci-fi and miscellaneous adult section. Then if we turn slowly so everyone doesn't get sick, we move on to the last bookshelf. This is the newest one I got from Target. Here's just a quick overview. And back up to the top. So this is my miscellaneous. I don't know where to put you. I don't have anything really like you, so you're here shelf. So we've got the Stalking Jack the Ripper series of all the first 2 books. So I've read Stalking Jack the Ripper. I read it on audio. Okay. All right, I think we're back in business. I was saying I read Stalking Jack the Ripper on audio and really enjoyed it. I started Hunting Prince Dracula, and then my audiobook ran out, so I bought the physical copy. We'll see when I ever read it. And then we have a book that I got for Valentine's Day from my mom. I picked out that I picked out for myself, which is Cultist: The Language of Fanaticism by Amanda Montell. I am so excited about this. It is a nonfiction book talking about like cults and the power of language and how people are brought into cults and how people are manipulated to stay into cults, and it just sounds so interesting. And they go into a bunch of different things that I'm super interested in. Plus the cover is amazing. Whoever designed this, great job. And then we have my Heartstopper series. I do have all 4 volumes. My mother is currently reading volume 4 because I got her hooked on it and the show. But, you know, who doesn't love Nick and Charlie, you know? They're there. So hoping that this will become a graphic novel section and I will have more graphic novels. I tend to just read them from the library, either on Hoopla or, as you saw earlier, borrowing them physically. But I do want to start collecting them as well. Then I needed a place for my jewelry box, so it's there with my records next to my record player. And then we go into more YA fantasy. So I had to make these shelves short in order to fit my jewelry box up here. So this became the perfect spot for my YA paperbacks. So here we have the Graceling series by Kristen Kishore. I have adored the first 2 books and I'm so excited to continue on with the series. so underrated and just so good. Just so good. I've also have here the first books, 2 books in the Curse of Dark and Lonely series. I've read book 1, haven't read book 2. Nervous because I've heard mixed things, but we'll see how we like it. We have Fury Born by Claire Legrand, which I've heard about for years, and the other like a year or 2 ago I finally decided to buy it, and I just haven't picked it up, but I'm excited to. We have Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. This was a little free library find, and I was so excited to find it. Haven't read it yet. As well as The Strange, the Dreamer, and Muse of Nightmares. I got this like a year ago, and I haven't read it. I'm so sorry. I'm so excited to read these, though. I'm really bad. I buy books, and then they go on a shelf, and then I get to them eventually, okay? We have Eon, which, you know, dragons. That's all I know about it. That's what it took. We have Queen of the Tearling. Okay. We have Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. This copy came so destroyed from first books. I was so sad because it was supposed to be a very good copy. But yeah, heard amazing things. Excited to try out that one. Oh wait, on the next shelf we have the 7 Realms series by Cinda Williams Chima. I've read the first book, The Demon King, and then I really enjoyed it, so I got the rest of the series. Have not continued though, and I will now have to reread the first one in order to read the next 3, so I need to be better about continuing series right away. One series I did complete, like back to back almost, was the Caraval trilogy by Stephanie Garber. This one I enjoyed less with each book. The first book I really enjoyed. The twists were great. It just got me. And that one I gave 4 stars, and then it just went a little downhill. Then we have Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. I read this, oh, it must have been like 2018 or 2019, and I really enjoyed it. Again, got the second book. Haven't read the second book. We'll have to read the first book again in order to read that. And then we have the opposite thing where I read, I was given, or I won an arc of Rage from the publisher Tor, and I went out and bought Roar so that way I could read both of them, and I liked Roar, loved Rage, and then the third book kept getting pushed back and now has no release date. So, will we ever get the third book? Doesn't look like it, but I was so sad about it. And then we have My Plain Jane, My Lady Jane, another DNF. Did I take the thing out of it? Okay. Well, I was reading My Plain Jane. I didn't realize I even took the bookmark out, so that really shows how much I didn't like it. But see, I loved My Lady Jane, and I've heard a lot of people didn't like My Plain Jane as much, but they liked the third book from the Lady Janies, so I'm conflicted about that. I have The Great Hunt and The Great Pursuit by Wendy Higgins. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling duology, and I'm excited to read it because I love retellings. And then lastly here we have my Shadowhunter shelf. I've read most of these. I just haven't read The Lost Book of the White, which is the second book in the Red Scrolls of Magic series, which who will knows that even will continue because it's honestly not that great. And the only reason, you know, it's there is because of Malik, so yeah. I have not read Chain of Gold yet. I really want to, but I have to read Queen of Arrogant Darkness first, and that's just a giant book, okay? So I'm scared. But believe it or not, guys, we've finished. That is all the books. Well, that went a lot faster than I thought it was. I went kind of quicker with this round, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know. Do you like it more when you see each book being pulled out, or do you like how I did it more this time where you just say, you know, what you've read, what you loved from each shelf, and what you're excited to read? So let me know. Also, please tell me if any of these I should pick up right away. I always need initiative to read books on my shelves, so please tell me which ones are your favorites down below, and I will hopefully prioritize them. I will see you guys in another video at some point, and I'll look forward to talking to you in the comments. Bye!